Record button. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the DDT Football Podcast. I'm Dio. Tone is doing father duties, and Dave, well, I don't know where Dave is at. He's probably at work. He's with his girl. I don't know, but Dave, you gotta stop missing shows, bro. And we ain't this last time we doing that. All right, so we gonna get right to it. We're going to get to week 13 in the National Football League. All right. We're going to start with the Thanksgiving games. All right. We're going to start with the Thanksgiving and the Black Friday games. All right. I'm not going to talk about Emmanuel Forbes getting cut by the Commanders. If you didn't watch the preview show on Tone's channel, that's on you. But we're going to start with Thanksgiving games real quick. Let's start with the Chicago Bears losing to the Detroit Lions 23-20. Let me start off by saying this. Matt Eberflus deserved to get fired. He deserved to get fired. You know why he deserved to get fired? Because he always pulls off coaching malpractices in the wrong time. How do you not call a timeout after your quarterback got sacked and it was 3rd and 26? How, bruh? Matt Eberflus's coaching ruined a phenomenal performance by Caleb Williams in the second half. The Chicago Bears in the first half was terrible. Terrible with a capital T. They were awful. Awful. Detroit was moving the ball up and down the field the entire time. The entire time until the fourth quarter. And you mean to tell me Matt Eberflus, coaching blunders cost the Bears the game? This ain't the first time Eberflus's coaching blunders cost him a game this year. Remember the Commanders game, the Hail Mary? DJ Moore or Jalen Johnson, one of them two said, why they didn't call timeout? Why they didn't call timeout? The Chicago Bear, the game against the Green Bay Packers, I'm not going to blame that on Eberflus. The kicker missed. It is what it is. The game against the Minnesota Vikings, it is what it is. They lost. But this game right here on Thanksgiving, yeah, bruh, he got to go. He had to go. So if I'm a Chicago Bears fan, I would be rejoicing for joy that Matt Eberflus got fired yesterday. He got fired yesterday. As far as the Detroit Lions is concerned, hey, Tom, what did you call the Detroit Lions? Mr. Disrespectful? Mr. Disrespectful, right? They didn't even disrespect the Chicago Bears. They just flat out beat them. Flat out beat them. Number one football fan, shout out to the subscriber. He said IDK, he don't deserve to get another head coaching gig this season, in my opinion. I feel bad for Caleb. And there's plenty of good, great players on the Bears with a lot of potential. They do, but the coaching held them back. And Eberflus was on the hot seat when the season began. And now the Chicago Bears are on a 6-game losing streak. They haven't won a game since October. We're about to hit December. They went over in the month of November. You deserve to lose. He deserved to get fired. There's nowhere else to go. As far as the Detroit Lions are concerned, it was a phenomenal win by the Lions. It was a good win by the Lions. They got to keep winning games because the Minnesota Vikings are only 9-2. Are now only 9-2. And the Green Bay Packers, who I will talk about in a little bit, are now 8-3. So let's move on. The second game on the Thanksgiving docket was the Dallas Cowboys. A rhinestone cowboy. The Dallas Cowboys beat the hapless, hopeless, pathetic excuse of a football team called the New York Giants. And they did it without CeeDee Lamb going off. CeeDee Lamb and CeeDee Lamb got hurt in the game. CeeDee Lamb had, look at the box score. Let's look at the box score. CeeDee Lamb had 2 catches for 39 yards. So Cooper Rush only threw for 195 yards, and they won. They won because the Cowboys decided, we're going to run the football on the New York Giants, and Rico Dowdle had 112 yards on 22 carries, averaging 5 yards a carry. The Giants should be ashamed of themselves. It was a boring game. It was a terrible game. Both teams don't deserve. The Giants are 2-10. I believe they're now eliminated from playoff contention. Right? They are eliminated from playoff contention. So, Tone, when you see this, you know what you need to do. When you know what you need to do. Their names are now written into the death note and sent them off to the goddamn Shadow Realm. Be gone. As far as we only watch. Yeah, that's true, but at the same time, all 32 teams are playing, so it is what it is. And as far as the Cowboys is concerned, it was a nice victory, but come on, bro. Like no one believes in you. No one believes in you at all. So good win, Cowboys. Just go away. Just go away. We won't talk about you till Monday. There's no Cowboy Corner because the man who's a Cowboy fan is not even here. So it is what it is. Let's talk about the Miami Dolphins and the Green Bay Packers. Look, I'm gonna need the Miami Dolphins to get their shit together because they suck in cold temperature weather. They just suck in cold temperature weather. And when the temperature drops down to 20-some degrees, like it is right now outside in the DMV, they fold like a goddamn lawn tent. They fold like a lawn tent. The fact that the Miami Dolphins was terrible in the first half because they're afraid of playing in temperatures under 30 degrees. They're just terrible. They're soft. They're just soft. And Green Bay, what would you think if the Giants got Shedeur Sanders? They got a quarterback that could win with. But at the same time, no, I'm not. No, not yours, but Shedeur. I can see him with the Giants, but until the Giants get talent surrounding Shedeur, and I don't think Coach Prime is going to allow Shedeur to play in New York with that organization who bundles Saquon Barkley. Nah, that I don't see Shedeur going to the Giants. If it happens, good for him. But if it doesn't, it is what it is. Now back to the Green Bay Miami game. I don't know what's up, but this game was over by halftime. And it was over by halftime. Yeah, Tua threw for 365 yards, but what was all of this in the first half? Tua. Jordan Love only threw for 274, but he threw 2 TDs and he only had 7 incompletions. So yeah, Green Bay won. Green Bay methodically beat the brakes off of them. And if I'm the Miami Dolphins, I need to find ways to win games in cold temperature because if you can't win in cold temperature games, you have no shot of winning a Super Bowl at all. So you can't depend on playing in cooler temperatures or playing in dome control environments to win football games. Because and not only that, the Dolphins are not good against winning teams. They're frauds. The Dolphins are frauds. And Green Bay has a huge game next Thursday night against the Detroit Lions. If they want to keep pace in this division, they got to win. But the way Detroit's playing, I don't know. And let's talk about the game last night between the Raiders and the Chiefs. How many of you guys are tired of seeing the Kansas City Chiefs finding ways to win games they're not supposed to win? I mean, it's just that they're finding ways to win games, but they don't look impressive at all. You only scored 19 points against the Raiders, bro. 19 points against the Raiders? You only scored 19 points against the Raiders? I don't know what the rookie center was doing either, but he should have never snapped the ball. Take the penalty, man. Just take the penalty. You don't need to snap the ball. And once you snap the ball, Aiden O'Connell fumbled the ball. They lost. It's a loss. But at the same time, I thought the Raiders was going to win the game. I really did. The Raiders outplayed the Kansas City Chiefs. I thought they were better than the Kansas City Chiefs. I didn't even watch the game. I caught the fourth quarter. The Chiefs should have never won this game. They are the luckiest 11-1 team I've ever seen out here. They've only won one game. They've only won 2 games this year over double digits. They ain't blown nobody out. How you almost lost to the Raiders and it took a botch snap to beat the Raiders? Aiden O'Connell outplayed Patrick Mahomes, bruh. How is this possible? How is this possible? Patrick Mahomes got sacked 5 times by the Raiders. 5 times by the Raiders. Look, that's why they called the illegal motion, because they wasn't lined up. But the problem was the Raiders ran out of timeouts, and the Raiders should have never called a timeout before they missed that damn field goal. That's what killed them. Daniel Carlson missed 2 field goals that could have won him this game. He missed 2 field goals that could have won. He missed 3 field goals that could have won him this game. My apologies. He went 1 for 4 kicking field goals. If he had made at least 2 of the field goals, they would have won. They would have won. So, the Raiders are a bad team. They're eliminated. They got sent to the shadow round. Their names is written in the death note. They're out of here. Be honest. As far as Kansas City, they're not three-peating. They're not three-peating. Sorry, they're not three-peating. And if y'all don't see it, if a lot of people don't see that they can't three-peat, they're not going to three-peat, then that's on you, bro. That's on them. You can't rely on Patrick. Patrick Mahomes has not played well this year. He has not. And the fact that everybody is so reliant on they're going to find a way to win the game, what happens if their luck runs out? What happens if they lose to Buffalo what happens if they lose to Buffalo like they did 2 weeks ago? What happens if they play Baltimore and Baltimore decides to give Derrick Henry the football and they run the football down their throats? What happens if they lose to the Steelers and the Steelers find ways to win games they're not supposed to win, like the Kansas City Chiefs? What happens if they play the Chargers? By the way, they play the Chargers next Sunday night. I won't give you my pick because we'll pick that next week. But rest assured, it ain't going to be the Chiefs. You can bet your ass on that. And let's say the Cincinnati Bengals find a way to turn it around and freaking get into the playoffs. Do you really believe the Kansas City Chiefs can beat the Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Burrow at quarterback? Absolutely 100% not. So, Chiefs, you got some work to do. Oh yeah, the Chargers do have been playing better, and plus, it's Harbaugh, man. It's Harbaugh. It's Harbaugh. So yeah, good. Chiefs, not impressive win, not an impressive win at all. You only beat the Raiders by 2, man. Get them out my face. Now, before we get to the NFL slate, and I got to pick the rest of these NFL games, I want to talk about some college football real quick. College football real quick. Ryan Day, you deserve to get fired. You need to be fired expeditiously. You need to be fired today. I don't want you. I need you to. You can't just rely on anybody to get out coached all by the Chiefs, and Patrick Mahomes plays better in the playoffs. Yes, Elijah, that is true. But at the same time, Mahomes has not played well this year. He has not. And him turning it on in the playoffs like he did last year is not going to work this year. It's just not. It's just not. Imagine a number one football fan said, imagine if Jim Harbaugh was the Chargers coach for the past 4 years. They would have won the Super Bowl with the talent that they had the last previous years. And if it wasn't for Brandon Staley, so instead of Brandon Staley would have been Jim Harbaugh, yeah, they would have won a Super Bowl. They would have won a Super Bowl. They would have won a Super Bowl. But that's besides the point. Now let me talk about Ohio State. They're inexplicable, inexcusable. It's unexcusable, bro. It's unexcusable. Ohio State, you're the number 2 team in the country. You're favored by over 20 points, and you lost to Michigan, a 6-5 Michigan team. A Michigan team that's a one-trick pony that all they can do is just run the goddamn football, and you couldn't stop the run? You couldn't score over 10 points against Michigan with the talent that you had with that NIL money and the recruits that you bring in, all those seniors that you had brought back, and they couldn't beat Michigan at the Horseshoe? Ryan Day is now 1-4 against Michigan. 1-4 against Michigan. He needs to go. He needs to go. I'm sorry, he needs to go. Is now a possible chance Ohio State doesn't even make the college football playoffs because of this loss to Michigan. You can't be a double-digit favorite coming into the game and then you lose by 3 to Michigan. You got outplayed by Michigan the whole game. Like, it's just mind-boggling to me how Ohio State shrinks when it comes to playing Michigan right now. It's just mind-boggling to me that they shrink against Michigan. And more importantly than this, you had C.J. Stroud. You had Garrett Wilson. You had Chris Olave. You had Jackson Smith and Jigba. You had Marvin Harrison Jr. You got Jeremiah Smith. You had Caleb Downs. You had Travion Henderson. You had all these good immense talent on the Ohio State team, and you got beat by Michigan 4 straight years. Inexcusable. Just inexcusable. Inexcusable. And if Ryan Day does not win a national championship this year, he's going to get fired. He's going to get fired. I think Ohio State will make the college football playoffs, but if they don't make the college football playoffs because of this loss to Michigan, they're going to get fired. He's going to get fired. Now, let me talk about Miami, the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes. They say the U is back. The U is back. The U is back. Is it really back? You lost to Syracuse. You had a chance to play SMU in the SEC championship game, and you lost to Syracuse. You lost to Syracuse, who, by the way, is 9-3. Slept under the rug. The Syracuse is 9-3, but at the same time, Miami was 10-1 going into this game. and you lost to Syracuse. Syracuse is a basketball school, not a football school. Come on, man. You can't lose to Syracuse. Cam Ward threw for 349 yards, and they still lost. You know why? Because Kyle McCord threw for the quarterback, the transfer quarterback from Ohio State, Kyle McCord, he threw for 380 yards. 380 yards. And the Miami Hurricanes lost. And now Clemson is now in the ACC championship game. By the way, Clemson lost to South Carolina, by the way. So now Clemson is about to play SMU in the ACC championship game. Good luck, Clemson. You're not going to win, but good luck. And now, Tone, your team, Penn State, is now playing in the Big Ten championship game against Oregon. I'm sorry, Tone, you my dog, but Penn State is mid. Penn State is not good. Penn State is terrible against good teams, and Oregon is going to put a clown suit on them next Saturday night. Sorry, not sorry. And we'll talk about the college football playoff next week. All I gotta say is Ohio State, you better fire Ryan Day if you don't win the national championship this year, and I'll leave it at that. Now, let's go to the NFL slate. There are no teams on a bye week this week because, well, it's Thanksgiving week and everybody's playing. So, everybody who's watching, put your picks in the chat, and I'll tell you who I think is going to win this week. All right? We're going to start in New England. The New England Patriots are hosting. You think we'll do anything in the playoffs if we make it? Are you talking about the Commanders or are you talking about somebody else? If it's the Commanders, it depends on the matchup. It's simple as that. If it's the Commanders, it depends on the matchup. The Commanders, okay. It depends on the matchup. It depends on the matchup. I think we have a good shot against Philly. I think we have a good shot against Seattle. I think we have a good shot against Atlanta. We have no shot against Detroit. And I will leave it at that. Now, the Indianapolis Colts are facing the New England Patriots in Foxborough. The Colts are 2.5-point favorites. This is not a good football game. I would not bet this football game. But if you had to tell me who I would choose to win this football game, I would pick the Indianapolis Colts because they're the better team. And although Drake May has been playing well lately, New England leaves a lot to desire, and I think Indianapolis can run the football down New England's throat. I think New England will be a competitive game. It'll be a low-scoring game, but I think the Colts will win. Next up, the Houston Texans are playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Texans are 3.5-point favorites. I'm picking the Texans to win because they have to redeem themselves off that embarrassing loss that they had last week against the Titans. Bro, you cannot lose a game when you sack the quarterback 8 times and you have a pick 6 in the game. I'm going to need Tone's boy, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Coleridge Bernard Stroud IV, to play better. Just to play better. He needs to play better. With that being said, Jacksonville is terrible. I know they're coming off their bye week, but they're not a good football team. They're just not. So I'm going to pick the Texans to win. All right, next up, the Seattle Seahawks are traveling to MetLife Stadium to play the New York Jets. It's a pick'em. I'm picking the Seahawks. I have no faith in the Jets anymore. I'm done. I need to see to believe it with the Jets, so I'm going to pick the Seahawks. I think Geno will move the ball up and down the field on that Jets defense because the Jets defense has been terrible since they fired Robert Saleh. And I just don't see any reason why the Jets can win this game against the Seahawks. So yeah, just give me the Seahawks. Next up, the Minnesota Vikings are hosting the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are 3.5-point underdogs. I am picking the Vikings because I don't trust Arizona. Arizona is not that good of a football team. They are so Jekyll and Hyde. 1 minute you can trust them. The next minute they got held to 6 points by the Seahawks. Absolutely not. The only way they're going to win this game is if Kyler Murray throws the football and he throws the football well and they score points because Minnesota is going to put up points. And I expect Justin Jefferson to get out of this slump that he's been having over the past couple of weeks to get over 100 yards receiving and a couple of touchdowns. Okay, number one football fan, you got the Cards upsetting the Vikes. Okay, I think the Vikes win this game. They keep their momentum rolling, and they're only one game out of first place against in the NFC North. So Minnesota wins. Next up, my favorite game of the week. One of my favorite games of the week. The Los Angeles Chargers are traveling to the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are 1-point underdogs. I got the Falcons being the Chargers. You know why? Because the Falcons are coming off a bye week. They're well rested. I think Bijan Robinson is going to run. The Falcons saw what the Ravens did to the Chargers and say, "Oh, Derrick Henry running the football on down the Chargers' throats. Oh, we got a running back like that. His name is Bijan Robinson." So, yeah, Bijan run the football. Algier run the football. I like to see Kyle Pitts more involved in the offense, along with Mooney and Drake London. Kirk just does not need to turn the football over. They'll be fine. I don't think the Falcons' defense is going to slow down the Chargers. I just don't. They don't have the personnel to go up against the Chargers defensively. But I believe the Falcons are going to put up points. The Chargers are going to put up points, but I think the Falcons are going to put up more points and they're going to win the game. So I got the Falcons winning. That's upset number one. The next game on the slate is the Pittsburgh Steelers are facing the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are 3-point favorites. I'm picking the Bengals to beat the Steelers. You know why? Because do you really believe Russell Wilson's going to put up 30 points against the goddamn Cincinnati Bengals? As terrible as the Bengals defense is, and they are terrible. They are terrible. They are awful. They are nowhere near good. Nowhere near good. The Bengals are terrible, but they still have Joe Burrow. They still have Jamar Chase, and they still have T. Higgins. And as long as those three are healthy, I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers can stop them. If they had trouble stopping Jameis Winston and the Cleveland Browns, what makes you think they're going to stop the freaking Bengals coming off a bye week? Absolutely not. As much as I love Mike Tomlin, they say Mike Tomlin is an underdog. I'm a better. Yeah, it's only good to bet him when he's at home as an underdog, not a road underdog. So yeah, give me the Bengals. And they not only did they win, they cover and they beat the Steelers by 14. Let me give Tone's picks out real quick. Let me give out Tony's picks real quick. Tony is picking the Bengals, just like me. The Vikings, just like me. The Texans, just like me. The Falcons, just like me. And the Colts, just like me. And the Seahawks, just like me. All right. Next up. is the Washington Commanders are hosting the Tennessee Titans. The Commanders are 6-point favorites. Tone is picking the Commanders to win. I'm also picking the Commanders to win. Not only do I think the Commanders win, they will win. I think the Commanders will win, but they don't cover the 6. They don't cover the 6. I will take Tennessee plus the 6. It's going to be a very, very close game. I don't see Tennessee winning the game, but they'll keep it competitive. I don't see the Commanders blowing them out. And 35-7 is totally biased. Who's you fooling? Not me. So yeah, I will pick the Commanders to win. They won't cover, but they win. Next up, the LA Rams are facing the New Orleans Saints. The Rams are 2.5-point favorites. Oh man, it's a tough game to pick because the Saints have been playing well the last 2 weeks, but the last 2 weeks is they've been at home, so this is also a home game. But I'm gonna pick the Rams to win because like the Rams are a better football team, and I think that the way the Rams lost last week to the Eagles, I just don't see the Alvin Kamara running for 255 yards. Maybe Taysom Hill can do it, but I'm not too sure. I just don't see New Orleans beating the Rams. Big Vay's the better coach than whatever coach the Saints have. Their special teams coordinator, yeah, I just don't see it. No, give me the Saints. Tampa Bay is a 6-point favorite against the Carolina Panthers. I really want to pick the Panthers to win this game. I really want to pick the Panthers to win this game. I think they cover the 6, but I don't see them winning. I think Tampa Bay wins. I think Mike Evans goes over 100 yards receiving and catches a touchdown. And I think the Bucks defense kinda makes it difficult for Bryce Young. But Bryce has been playing phenomenal ever since he came back into the lineup. So I commend Dave Canales for that. I commend Dave Canales for that, but I think Tampa Bay wins. Next up, the game of the week. The Philadelphia Eagles are playing the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are 3-point favorites. This game comes down to who is going to run the football extremely well. Is it Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, or is it Lamar and Derrick Henry? And I just have a hard time believing that Saquon Barkley is going to run for 100 yards on the Ravens defense. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And I think the Ravens are going to make Jalen Hurts beat him throwing the football. It ain't going to be no goddamn tush push. It ain't going to be no goddamn Jalen Hurts scrambling from the pocket. No, I don't see that. I think the Saquon may kill the Ravens through the receiving wise, and maybe this may be a game AJ Brown or Dallas Goedert go off. But this is the best team the Eagles have played all year. Let's just call a spade a spade. This is the best team they played all year, and I don't think the Eagles understand what they getting themselves into this tomorrow when they play the Ravens. The Ravens are a better team than any teams that the Eagles have played so far this year, and the Ravens are just better. I don't care that the Ravens defense has not played well against the pass, but Jalen Hurts is not a good passer, so I'm not wasting my time on that. So the Eagles defense, yeah, Quinyon Mitchell, Jalen Carter, what's my man's name? N'Kobe Dean, Zach Bond, Cooper DeJean, Reek Blankenship, CJ Gardner Johnson. Yeah, that's fine and cool, but Lamar's the is the equalizer. Lamar Derrick Henry's winning this game. Tone is picking. By the way, Tone is picking the Bucks, and he's picking the Rams as well. Um, I I think we're me and Tone are picking the Ravens. I don't think the Ravens win by 10. It's going to be a very close game, but Lamar's on another level. I don't think the Eagles have an answer for Lamar. So yeah, Ravens win convincingly. Sunday night football. The San Francisco 49ers are playing at Buffalo against the Bills. And the people in Buffalo, I'm praying for y'all. Survive that winter snowstorm. Just don't bring that snowstorm down here. Please don't, because I don't like snow. All right, I don't like snow. I don't like dealing with snow. Keep that snow away from me. All right. I am picking the Bills to win. And it's simple. The Niners are ravaged by injuries, and I don't think the Bills are also coming off their bye week, and the Bills are coming off their bye week. I just think that they've been playing better than the Niners. The Niners are inconsistent. The Niners look cooked. The Niners, I'm not going to say they are cooked. They look cooked. Is the only way they're going to win this game if Christian McCaffrey becomes Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy does not turn the football over. That's the only way they're going to win, since Brock Purdy's going to play. But Big Trent is out and Nick Bosa's out, and Drake Greenlaw's not playing. But Drake Greenlaw hasn't played since the Super Bowl last year. Yeah, the Bills win, and they win handily. They win handily and convincingly. And now, Monday Night Football. The Denver Broncos are hosting the Cleveland Browns. The Denver Broncos are. Hold on one moment. The Denver Broncos are 6-point favorites. This is my upset of the week. I got Cleveland over Denver. And it's simple. Cleveland's playing better with Jameis than they was with Deshaun Watson. And I don't think Bo Nix is going to put up gaudy numbers against Cleveland's defense. And I just think that the Browns are going to beat the Browns are going to beat them. And plus, if Cincinnati and you can't pick here's what's anyway. I think Cleveland beat. I think Cleveland goes into Denver and beat the Broncos. I just think that Jameis is he's a galvanizer. Jameis is a galvanizer, and as long as Jameis plays, I think Cleveland has a chance to win any game they play the rest of the year. So, I mean, the game against the Saints got away from them. This game against the way he played. Yes, the way he played in the snow, he looked pretty damn good in the snow. I just don't believe in the Broncos. I just don't believe in the Broncos. So I'm 100% picking Cleveland Browns. That is my upset of the week. Let's recap. My upset of the week is Cleveland and Atlanta, and my lock this week is, it's the Texans and it's the Texans and the Bucks. It's the Texans and the Bucks. And that was his first real cold weather game, and he looked pretty damn good in that snow. So, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's podcast. Thank y'all for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to know when we are coming back on the air. We will be back next Tuesday night with everybody here. Thank y'all for watching. We will catch you guys on Tuesday. Goodbye and good night. See ya.